Grandma Debbie here. Okay, so today we're going to make a roasted garlic and rosemary bread. And so the first thing we need to do is we need to roast the garlic. And so let's get started on doing that. Okay, so I have 3 heads of garlic. And whoops, almost grabbed the knife the wrong way. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off, if I can get a hold of it, the tops. And I'm going to make a mess doing it. Wow, these are some powerful little garlic here. Okay, one more. Look at the mess I'm making. Okay. Okay, so I've got 3 heads of garlic. And now I'm going to take some aluminum foil and I'm going to set them in here. My oven is preheating right now to 350. And so I'm going to put them in an oven for 350 and we're going to roast them for about 45 minutes. But I'm going to drizzle them with olive oil. You know, roasted garlic could be used for a lot of different things. You can put it on bread if you're making some garlic bread. You can actually even just eat it if you want to. Once you roast it, it gives it kind of a sweeter taste. All right, so then now we're just going to bring up the ends, fold it up, and then we're going to put it in the oven. And after it roasts, I will bring you back for round 2. All right, so the garlic is still in the oven, roasting away. So in the meantime, we're going to get started on the next step of what we need to do. All right, so let's get going on it. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is in a small bowl, so we're going to change spots. We are going to add 2 cups of lukewarm water. And by lukewarm, it needs to be at about 100 degrees, 110, somewhere around there. And then we're going to add in an envelope of active dry yeast. And I don't know, man, me and packages lately, we just have not been getting along. All right, and we're going to let this bloom. And bloom just means that it's going to get activated. So I'm just going to kind of stir this up a little bit. And we're going to let this sit off to the side until it has done that. It's going to take about 5 minutes. But while we're waiting for that, we're going to do some other things. You know, I love the smell of yeast. It just tells me that bread's coming. Or a bread product of some sort. All right, so let's get started on the next recipe, part of the recipe. So I'm just going to move this off to the side, and we're going to let it sit until it's going to get all foamy and stuff. All right, so in the meantime, we are going to we're going to add our dry ingredients. So we're going to add 4 cups of flour. And we're going to, I'm just going to use a spoon to spoon it out of the container. And I might actually have to get more flour because I don't know if I'm going to have enough here. All right, so 1, 3. Well, I might have enough flour in this container and not have to go and get the rest of the flour out of the cupboard. flour. Okay, so I'm going to move the flour off to the side, and then we're going to sorry guys, I'm just reading. Okay, then I'm going to add, 1.5 tablespoons, and I grabbed the teaspoon. Oh, too bad I can't read, right? That would be scary. Okay. We're just going to mix this all up together. And then once the yeast has bloomed, we will add it into the flour. So when we do that, we're going to make a well in the middle of the flour, and that's where we will add it. All right, so it still needs to bloom for a little bit, so I will bring you right back. Okay, so the yeast has bloomed, and so we're just going to pour it into our flour and salt, and we're just going to start stirring it all together. Now, at this point, if it doesn't start to come together, you can add some more flour, but you only want to do it like 1 tablespoon at a time. You don't want to add too much. And if you add too much, then you can add some more water. But once again, you only want to do like 1 teaspoon at a time, because you don't want to add too much. Otherwise, well, you're going to be just adding more water and more flour. And then soon you'll have paste. Do you remember making paste when you were in elementary school to make like a piñata or anything like that? I remember doing that. Or maybe I'm just old and you don't do that anymore in school. I don't know. I just remember it was a lot of fun. And then you'd get the paste all over your hands, and then you'd try to get it off of your hands. That wasn't the fun part, but the other stuff was. Okay, this is looking good. So what we're going to do is, after we get this all mixed together, then we're going to cover it, and we're going to let it sit for about 2 hours until it's doubled in size. And then we're going to punch it down and do some other stuff with it. There's a lot of flour on the bottom. I think I'm going to switch spoons. So you get the flour off of the bottom. Okay, yeah, you see how it's coming off of the bowl nicely? That's what you want. You know, I think I'm going to add a tablespoon of flour, because it does seem a little bit sticky. Okay, looking good. All right, so I'm going to cover this and let it sit for about 2 hours, and then I'll bring you back. And this is what it looks like so far. All right, I'll see you in a couple hours. Okay, so we're going to, the garlic is roasted, so we're going to chop it up a little bit. And we're also going to chop up some rosemary. Not a whole lot, just a little. We're going to also sprinkle, when we're ready to bake, we're going to sprinkle some of it on top. Now this is fresh rosemary that we got out of our garden, and it has dried. And so I'm going to chop it just a little bit, and we'll go from there. And I'm going to make a huge mess with it first. My knife does not seem to be sharp enough. Let's see if I have another knife that I can use. That will probably be better. Let's try this one. Yeah, this one's a little bit better. Okay, the nice thing about rosemary is that you don't really need a whole lot of it to flavor your food. So, I'm thinking that's probably about, let's do just a little bit more. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put this in a bowl. As I get the bowl going all over the place. Did you even see what I was doing? Probably not. Okay, now we're going to get the garlic out. And it's not wanting to come out. Oh yeah, this turned out really nice, guys. My hands are probably going to smell like garlic for quite a while after this is over. So you only need about 1/4 of a cup, and I'm not exactly sure how much I have here. Got multiple knives and all kinds of stuff going on here. All right, I think I'm going to do one more of the bulb. And the other, I'm going to save and use up for something else. These bulbs had a lot of garlic in them. More than what I had the last time I did a roasted garlic. Last time it also came out easier. I don't know why these ones are not coming out very easily. But they're not. So, just deal with it. All right, let's chop this up. All right, I'm going to wipe down this workspace. Move the other clove of garlic so that we can get the bread out. I will be right back. Okay, so we're going to pull the dough out. It smells real good in here, guys. And I think I'm going to add a little bit of flour. So let me grab the flour. It's a little sticky. All right, I'm going to add just a tad bit more flour. Because it's still pretty sticky. We have a storm coming in, so it's kind of humid, so that's probably what's affecting the bread here. Okay, now I'm going to stir in, I'm going to mix in the garlic and the rosemary. There's going to be some garlicky bread. Okay, I'm going to put it now in another bowl where it will sit until it rises again, and then we'll bake it. Okay, so I'm going to let this sit for a couple of hours till it rises, and then we're going to bake it, and it should taste wonderful. All right, so I will bring you back when it's time to bake. Okay, so it's been a couple of hours now, and I'm going to get the oven ready to go, and then I'm going to add the bread. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up my pan, and this is the pan I'm going to be using. Quite heavy. And so I'm going to get it in the oven. It's going to stay in the oven for a half hour, and I'll show you what else we're going to do with the dough while this is in the oven. Okay, so I'm going to lay out some parchment paper. All right, and I'm going to add a little bit of flour to it. Now, I tend to overflour this, which is an absolute mistake to do, but I tend to do it anyway. So just be careful when you do this stage of it. Because like I said, I tend to overflour. And then I've got flour everywhere. So, and then you want to get your hands nice and covered in flour. I'm going to take off my ring. And then I'm going to grab the dough and I'm going to get it out of the bowl. Whoops. It's kind of heavy. Can you see all the garlic and all the goodness in there? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've got it out, and I'm going to try and form this into a little bit of a ball. Once again, get flour on your hands. You want to kind of get this into a little bit of a ball. Okay, so this is going to sit while the oven is heating. I got it in some sort of a ball, and then we're going to cook it with the parchment paper. Okay, so let me wash my hands. Okay, so the dough is going to sit for 30 minutes while the oven is preheating. So I will bring you back when it has finished preheating and show you what we need to do at that point. All right, so I will see you back in a few minutes, or in 30 minutes. Okay, well, I just realized that my video didn't work when I was putting the bread into the oven or into the pan to cook it. So sorry about that. It happens. But I put it in a cast iron skillet, or ceramic porcelain cast iron skillet, and to cook. So, and it went into the oven for 45 minutes with the lid on. And then I took it out, took the lid off, and cooked it for an additional 10 minutes. You bake it at 450 degrees. Oh my word. So, but I want to thank you for coming along with me on this journey. And I also wanted to mention that, in breads like this, you can use whatever kind of herbs you want to use. If there's something special that you like, or you don't even have to use any herbs at all. It's completely up to you. Remember, a recipe is just a guide. Make it your own. So, make some changes if you want to, and see if it's good. See if it's not good. It roughly, time-wise, I'm going to tell you total time. It's going to take about 4 hours of doing this, but prep time is hardly any, because it's mainly just sitting there rising, and you don't have to do anything when the bread is rising. So like I said, it's up to you if you want to make this or not. It is delicious, and so I'm going to say go for it. All right, well, I hope that everything is going great for you and that you're having an amazing day. And hit that like, hit the subscribe, and hit the share button. All right, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.